Purchasing your dream home is an exciting life step, but understanding the financial considerations is important. Mortgage loan officer Kim Kosick with Navigator Credit Union outlines the key costs for us involved in making that process go smoothly. Kim, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of people are talking about this lately with the market. It's been kind of fluctuating the last few years or so. So a lot of people want to know about the process. Let's start with breaking down a few of these things. Mortgage and fees. Let's start with that.
Well, I think if you need financing to buy your house, then you definitely want to get pre-qualified, get pre-approved, so you know what you can afford, what costs are involved, and also let your seller know that you're serious about the process.
Sure. And I also want to add, if you are serious about the process, that's always the first step, is getting pre-qualified, pre-approved, so you know how much you can spend. You shouldn't necessarily start looking and touring all these homes before you do that, because you're really wasting your own time.
Absolutely.
Before you have a better idea of what's going on there. All right, so let's talk about some of the money involved in upfront costs. What are down payments? Explain that to our viewers.
So down payment is the amount you're putting in, your skin in the game. So it used to be that 20% was the norm. Now, as a first-time home buyer, you can put as little as 3 to 5% down. Or if you're doing a VA or rural, you could do 0 down. Just remember that when you're putting less down, you have a larger loan amount. So by putting more down, you may have a lower payment, lower fees, and also avoiding private mortgage insurance.
And talking to a mortgage lender like yourself and the folks at Navigator Credit Union, they can help you determine, based on your financial situation and your background, what type of loan is right for you, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. And that's very important to pick that out when you're getting going. Some of the other costs are homeowners insurance and property taxes. How do those all play into the mix?
Well, they're definitely a consideration, because a lot of folks, especially their first-time home buyers, are used to paying one payment on a rent. Property taxes can be dictated by the county you're in, the price of the home, as well as homeowners insurance, which can be dictated by the age of the home, location, and your credit qualifying. These are expenses that you need to consider, but homeowners insurance, of course, gives you peace of mind.
So when you're talking about all the things that are rolled into that monthly payment, I know there's a term out there called PITI. Can you tell our audience what PITI is?
PITI is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So that's the total monthly payment that you're going to be looking forward to paying.
And that's what we were just talking about, that insurance and taxes. You need to remember to take that into account for the total cost of your mortgage payment, and the folks can help you out. Yep. Let's talk about some other fees. Closing costs. That's a big one. A lot of folks don't understand what closing costs are.
So there's a variety of costs and fees that are associated with the loan, getting an appraisal, getting home inspections. All mortgages and lending and actually purchase transactions go through a title company to make sure your title is free and clear. So there's costs associated with that as well.
So, and then also when you go through this process, if you're selling or buying, people want to know, well, how much does it cost to hire a realtor? What can you tell them about that?
Well, a realtor is very important. You need someone who's familiar with the area to negotiate on your behalf as a buyer. The good news is, in most cases, the agent's commissions are shared from the seller's proceeds. That's not always the case.
Right.
You need to ask and inquire, but in many cases, at least a portion of that can be covered by the seller's proceeds.
Yeah, so talk to your real estate agent about how they're going to receive compensation for the sale, and they'll be upfront with how that is going to all work out. So this is a lot of information, and it takes a lot of time to absorb it all, especially for first-time home buyers. If they want more information, they can make an appointment with you all, sit down and kind of talk through the process.
Absolutely. I'm at the Schillinger and Cottage Hill location. They can reach us on our website, navigatorcu.org/mortgage, or give me a call.
All right, great stuff. And we're going to have a link to all of that on the Studio 10 tab at fox10tv.com as well. It sounds complicated, but when you have the right people walking you through the process, it doesn't have to be. Kim, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Chelsea.